So, do you really think you're single by choice? In episode number 208 of Making the Case, we're talking about it. Why women are not single by choice. Let's get into it. Hey, what's going on, YouTube? We back at you with another episode of Making the Case. We're on 208. I'm your host, Dr. Jacob Isom. We got two channel norms over here. One, we take points on our people, and then two, we don't do all that cussing and fussing and derogatory stuff. We like to keep it professional over here. All right. Once again, we have a topic that is tried and true. Plenty of discussion has been around this topic right here. And I think it's going to create a good discussion, a discussion that I hope you ready for. All right, particularly the ladies. Okay. Now, let me say this before we move forward. I don't want to say trigger alert. Yeah, I'm okay. We got to say trigger alert. Okay. Um, because the reason why this particular episode is so important because I think so many women are used to lying to themselves. All right. And the crazy thing is that women always say, just be honest with me when they're not even honest with themselves. Right. Some people look at a woman wearing makeup is a form of deception. Right. Because, of course, when makeup is taken off, you don't look the same. Right. Depending on if you're a person that, puts on a whole bunch of makeup or not. Right. It really depends. So, let me put that out there. But the women out there who are single and saying they're single by choice, they're lying to themselves. And I'm gonna tell you the number one reason why they're lying to themselves because they don't decide it. We know that women control access to sex and men control access to relationships. You're not in control of relationships to say that you're single by choice because you're not getting down on one knee and proposing to men. Now, are you? You're not saying, hey, would you like to be in a relationship with me? That is not your choice. So you can't say you single by choice when you don't give relationships. Men do. Okay. So that's point number one. And point number two is this. We know that when a man and a woman are dealing with each other, who is more likely to want the commitment in the relationship? It is the woman. So let's get this straight. If you're out there dating or even having casual sex with a man, right? Eventually, you're going to want something more. You're going to want him to commit to you. You're going to want to be in a relationship. Okay. But guess what? That choice is not yours. Whose choice is it? It's his. He can just keep having casual sex with you. Now, you can cut it off, but guess what? Guess what you don't get? You don't get the commitment that you truly want and that most women truly want. So let's not get it twisted, okay? This episode for us to have a real genuine conversation about why women are not single by choice. Okay? You're single because you can't get the man that you want. You're single because you're traumatized. You're single because you keep getting hurt by men at the man because they may not want a commitment with you. That's why you're single. And I'm here to tell you that's not a choice. You're single by force. All right. So in this episode, we're gonna have the conversation. I know what I just said may hurt, but we got to start being honest with ourselves, ladies. Okay. So I have two clips in particular that I want to show you. We're gonna just have the conversation. All right. So without further ado, let's get into the first clip.
We go.
If you ask a woman that is single by choice, if a man walked into this room right now and he was everything that she wanted him to be and more, she would be with him. I think that most women that say that they're single by choice, they're single because the men that they actually feel as if they should be with don't actually want to be with them.
And I know we're stopping it early, but we have to talk about that, right? That's another piece of it, right? The men that they want, well, they don't want to commit because they have a lot of options, right? Or they don't want to commit to that woman because they're not their type. They're not their style. That's not the woman they actually want. They don't see the qualities and the things in her that they will want. So instead, what do? Women hold out, right? And say, you know what? God is gonna send me the man of my dreams. Okay. So I'll be single by choice until I get that man. That's not choice. That's by force. Okay. You're single because you can't get the man that you want. And that's what he's talking about. Let's continue.
Would you like to expound on any of
I
that?
mean, I think that's actually a reality because it's hurtful to realize that the type of person that you want may not want you and that you might have to be a better person in order to get that person.
Okay.
You know, that might be hurtful. And in American society in particular, there's a lot of lying, lots of white lies. I grew up mostly in South Korea. They're very honest. They'll tell you you're fat. Like, do I look fat in this? Yes, you look fat. And here are the herbs to help you with being overweight. Here, it's like we're always placating. So a lot of us are taught that if somebody doesn't like us, it's it's like this big thing.
It's like you're being bashed or shamed
because you're not used to being told no. Absolutely. Or if you're rejected gently. Someone might not be direct and say, "Yeah, you're not my type." Now I feel offended. You're just not my type.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? She's absolutely right.
That because it's going back to the whole truth idea, right? Because we say we want the truth, but when we're faced with truth, we get offended by it, right? It's funny because I saw some Talib Kweli, shout out to him, posted the other day about truth tellers getting backlash for telling the truth, right? And he was pretty much saying that we hear so many lies so much that when people tell the truth, that now they're shamed and ostracized because they telling the truth, because we hear so many lies. And this also exists in the dating game and relationship between men and women, right? That we tell so many lies to each other and to ourselves that once people say, you know what, I'm going to stop telling lies, I'm just going to tell the truth. Then when you tell somebody the truth, they get offended, right? They say you hurting them and things of that nature. So, like, if we could just be honest, say, you know what? No, I just don't want to be in a relationship with you. I've had very honest and hard conversation with women about, you know what? I don't see a future with you, right? I can't see myself being in a committed relationship with you. Some take it, most are hurt by it, right? But a lot of time what don't happen is the fact that, you know what, well, it's something in me that he don't see. So and a lot of times it may be related to beauty, right? But really it's deeper than that. It's the traits, it's the mentality. That's really the biggest thing. The mentality of a woman is what a man really is searching for. Man, it's million. I see beautiful women out here all the time. So many beautiful women. That's not the problem. The problem is the mentality, the okey doke that a lot of women have fallen for. That they don't need a man. They only need a man for transaction. They need a man to do this. Like, it's a mentality that a lot of women then fail for. Is the reason why a lot of men don't want to commit. Because if he actually can't benefit from a relationship, if he actually still can't have peace in the relationship, why would he get in one? Okay. So we got to stop this whole notion of single by choice. No, you're single because the men that
because they're not. Okay? If a woman says she is single by choice, that would be implying that men are trying to wife them up. Like there's a large number of men who want to be with them and who wants them to be their girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? Who wants to actually be in a committed relationship with them, and they're just like turning them down. So they're saying, look, I don't want to be in a relationship, so I'm choosing not to be in a relationship. You understand that? But that's not the case. See, women will get men who approach them to have sex with them. You know, the guys, they're checking the girls out, they're approaching them, and these guys want to, have sex with them or go out on a date with them or something like that. But these men are not there, like, begging these women to be there, to be with them. You understand? So you can't say that you're single by choice because you would need men to actually be trying to be in a relationship with you, and you know that's not the case. See, a lot of women say that they're single by choice because they want to kind of feel better about the situation of them being single.
And that's just facts, right? Of course, it's a coping mechanism, right? They say they're single by choice because they want to be in control of it, but they're not in control of relationships, and that's the problem, right? We've already talked about why women are single, right? Now, if you have men just beating down your door trying to be in a relationship with you, now that's a different conversation. But guess what? Most women don't, right? Even your most gorgeous women don't have a whole bunch of men just trying to put a ring on it, right? Because a lot of time, these women are get passed over or passed on to other men for a reason, right? We see it all the time, right? The same women is dating the same athletes. Well, why haven't nobody wifed her? Why she can't stay in a relationship, right? Even if she get in a relationship, it lasts 6 months, 9 months, and then she owns to somebody else, right? So in that situation, is not single by choice. Is a lot of times women are leaving relationships and they saying it's the man's fault, but at the end of the day, right? It's probably because she's trying to upgrade, right? Hypergamy, or like it's something that she just ain't got bored with. See, the conversation we really don't have enough is that women get bored in relationships, right? So that's the reason. Now, although they will want to be in relationships, they're moving on to different relationships more often now. Okay, because it's like, well, the fun it's not fun anymore. Like in the beginning, we was going shopping and trips and all this stuff, but now it's just, uh. So now I just need some other new excitement. That happened for men just like it happened for women. All right, let's get back to it.
You understand what I'm saying? But the damage of actually women saying that and saying, well, I'm single by choice is because, you know, they're psyching themselves out to think that the only reason they're single is because they're choosing to be single. But the reason why they're single is because there's a lot of men out there that don't see them as wifey material, or they're not putting themselves in a situation to be considered to be wifey material. You understand? They're not taking chances. They're not actually going out on dates. They're flaking out on guys. They're not being responsive to men who are approaching them. So, you know, these women, they're making a mistake of thinking that them actually being single is actually their choice, when actually in reality, the reason why they're single is because there are no men out there that are trying to get with them. So, ladies, really, I'm making this video for you because I want you to stop.
We're gonna stop it right there because the last thing I really want to touch on is the fact that the last thing he kind of said was the fact that there, because of social media and just because of the way his dating is now, people are getting, women in particular are getting a lot of attention, right? But here's the thing: we know based off the data from dating apps and just observation and in general, right? Most women don't find most men attractive, right? Depending on what data you want to go by, 80% of men are unattractive to most women, right? So your top 20, 25% of men, most women find very attractive. Okay. So that is the type of men that most women want to be in a relationship with. But the problem is most of those women, the top 20 and 25%, the men don't want to be with most women. Okay. And that's the problem. So most men are invisible to a lot of women, even average women, right? So they curving a lot of dudes to hold out for that one special man. And it's unrealistic, right? So this is where the whole notion and the whole lies being told of being single by choice. It's just not true. Okay. Because we're conflating male gaze, male attention with, oh, they want to be in a relationship. And the thing about it, they may want to be in a relationship with you. but you don't want to be in a relationship with them. That's where you thinking that, you know what, I got men beating down my door, but you're not even giving them a chance. And the men that you are giving a chance, guess what? They find out that, nah, you're not about this life. This is where we are in the market. Okay. And until we realize that, hey, because once upon a time, average people were average people. Even to this day, when you see a couple walking down your street, you're like, yeah, they supposed to be together. Everybody knows this. Okay. So we just got to start telling each other the truth. We got these overinflated egos, and we think everybody kings and queens and prince and princesses. Can't nobody do wrong. Everybody love the Lord and fear the Lord, and everybody is kings and queens. But reality tells us otherwise. All right. We're going to end the episode on that. Hey, what do you think? Let me know, man. I think this is a good conversation for us to have. Y'all are always respectful in the comments, so I don't worry about that. But make sure you like and share this video, man. Let's have a conversation. All right. But y'all know I appreciate y'all. But as always, I'm you and me. Love always, love eternal. Remember, worst thing you can do is lie to yourself, and we out. Deuces. One love.